welcome everyone to the final panel of CouchCon 2020 here on Chromatic Chimera. I am Tim Annan. I am going to be your illustrious DM for this interesting one-shot at 18th level, including legendary items, because we don't see legendary items enough with your players on streams. Let's get right into it. Let's go around and meet our players, starting with, trying to see where I am on the screen. Right above me, Paul. Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Okay, I can do that. No worries. Paul, you go ahead.
Okay.
Right.
Hello, I am Paul, Barbarian DM on Twitter. I'm a 5th grade math and science teacher, but today I'm playing Bean, who's a Minotaur, and he's going to smash some stuff. I'm super excited. That's all.
Awesome sauce. Let's go across towards Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm Darth and Trey on Twitter. Tonight I will be playing my Kobold Dunamancer Preston Digitation. Gonna keep these guys alive.
I do appreciate.
Down to Nat.
I appreciate pun names. I really do.
I would like to initiate a vote to vote Preston off the island.
There's already only 3 of us. I don't think we can afford to vote anybody off.
I'm gonna use Dunamancy to change time so that you can't vote me off the island.
Dang it. Hi, I'm Nat. I do a bunch of D&D stuff, but today I'm playing just the sorcerer with all the spooky spells, Silas Soddenwood, and I am excited to cast some spooky magic. Space, void, psionic, all the stuff.
Did someone say void?
Big void energy.
Big void energy. Right, so as you all know, we're doing donations for Doctors Without Borders. You can do that in the I think I can't even read my own writing. Is it Tifley or Titley? Tiltify. Here we go. That is not what I cannot read my own writing. The Tiltify widget just down below. We're just around about the halfway mark for what we want to raise this weekend, and we do not have clerics in this band of merry adventurers. So for every $10 that you donate, you get to give a common healing potion to any party member. For every $20, we'll go to greater healing, $25 superior healing, and every $30 we'll give you a supreme healing potion to every party member, which they can consume as a free action, because I am a kind of benevolent DM.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, you're about to murder us.
Bloodbath was used to describe the game.
For there to be a bloodbath, it requires blood.
Super excited.
And just because I'm really kind, everyone take a point of inspiration, which you can use at any point during this session. Right.
I would like to give my point of inspiration to the DM.
Oh, do you?
I think he's already inspired.
I will note that down. Nathaniel. Right. So, if we're all ready. After countless years of adventuring in your various home planes of existence, you become renowned throughout your planes as capable adventurers. Nay, you are the pinnacles of your adventuring class. It's because of these reasons that you have received each an invitation to the Gardenia estate, a nice, floral, English-styled manor and estate, for a business opportunity, as on the behest of Lady Petunia Gardena, no less. You've all arrived separately in your different states, in your different home planes, and you were received in a warm embrace and had a very convivial evening. There was lots of very nice local wines from the local vineyard. And then after this convivial evening, you went to your rooms in one of the towers of this estate. And could everyone roll me initiative?
Cool. That's an 11.
27.
Tim.
Tim?
Did we lose Tim?
Oh no.
Oh no, we lost the DM.
Oh no, I can feel the overlay about to mess up.
Oh, he came back.
But he is muted.
He is
You're
muted.
muted. On Zoom.
That was weird.
Yeah.
So, everyone roll me initiative.
Well, according to the
Yes.
overlay, I'm now the dungeon master, so.
Okay, now roll initiative.
I got
15.
27.
An 11.
Okay. Jeremy, what did you get?
15.
15. All right. Okay, so Silas, as you are in your bed, you are the first one to be awoken by some deep rhythmic thudding below you. Would you please like to introduce your character and describe them to everyone?
Silas Soddenwood was, he has eschewed the concepts of restful sleep for deep meditation as he's been sitting in the corner, dressed in long, deep robes of different shades of black. He has greenish skin of the Verdan, reaching out his psychic senses out into the depths of the world. But now he has sense of disturbance as he rises from a cross-legged position and prepares to face what is next.
Awesome sauce. And I see that someone has donated a healer's kit. So whoever wants the healer's kit, 100 bits, who would like it?
Give it to the tank.
I got it. I got a 2.
Okay. All right, you got it.
Yeah, you take it.
Okay. And then at the, just after Silas, you wake up in your room on the adjoining you in the neighboring room in the rotunda. Jeremy, your character awakes. Would you like to describe and introduce your character to everyone?
So Preston is basically your typical kobold with kind of reddish skin. He's got kind of a purplish mohawk, question mark, because it's actually like purple jam to make his hair look purple because he doesn't know how to dye his hair. Dressed in robes, carrying a staff that's like 3 times his size. Has a little small wand on his belt, and he looks really confused. Silas, what was that?
There's a thudding noise. Can't you sense it?
Is the plumbing bad?
Perhaps.
Okay.
And as you're having this conversation, Paul, your character awakes. Would you like to describe them to everyone?
Yeah. Bean is a minotaur with kind of dark brown fur / skin that's burned in several places across his body. He wanders around with a large, what almost looks like a pro wrestling belt around his waist underneath a large bluish gray robe. And he has a long, jagged longsword that hangs from the side of his belt. And as all of this is going on, if he's waking up, he would just start banging on the wall next to the bed where he's trying to sleep and just yell, "Keep it down over there. Some of us are trying to rest."
I think he's mad.
All of you start to hear this rhythmic, just like somewhere below you, this deep thud, 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 thud. You don't know where it's from. You're not sure if it's inside or outside, but as you get up and start walking about the rooms, there's a central meeting corridor just outside all your rooms as well. Just trying to find where this thudding is coming from.
That's not you guys.
Someone is making a very inconsiderate racket. And no, it is
I
not
think they need new
my
plumbing.
cause.
Our Lady Petunia Gardenia isn't quite as much of a lady as we thought she was. High five.
Could you put your hand down lower? I'm not that tall.
Okay, sorry. High five.
Yeah.
Illustrious dragon manager.
Yes.
What is the floor construction? Are there like
Funny you should
wood?
mention the floor. As you are all meeting this central corridor, suddenly you start to feel the floor below you shift. At first, it's a small creak. Perhaps it's because your Minotaur friend has just stepped onto the floorboards. But then you feel the rumbling hasten. Then suddenly everything starts vibrating and you start shattering all over the place as the tower beneath you collapses and you all go into free fall.
This
And
is
you are
not
now-
good.
You are now falling with the tower around you.
Well, when we begin to fall, I blink and we all fall slower as I invoke Featherfall.
Okay, can you remind me what Featherfall does?
We fall at 60 feet around and don't take fall damage when we hit the bottom. Instead of, 500 feet around and then die.
It just so happens that it was actually 60 feet you were falling.
Hey, look at that. Convenience.
As you fall with the rubble around you into a deep pit that's opened up underneath the tower, and as you're falling, you see the entire estate sink into this ground below you. And as you all gently land from this Featherfall spell, around you see caverns of rocks and roots all around you, and the remains of the tower and the rooms that you were once in. Above you, about 60 feet above you, you can see the moonless night.
That's some really bad plumbing.
I told you it was bad plumbing.
Very peculiar.
Would like everyone to make a perception check for me.
Of course.
$14.
11.
Okay.
3.
Wow.
If you care, passive's 19.
Same.
My passive is 11.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
We don't see anything, and we're now doomed.
As you look around, you see the remains of the beds you weren't sleeping in, covered by the rubble. Some of the roofing that fell in obviously is actually quite nice. One of the ornate gargoyles sits half its remains poke up from underneath the rubble around you. In between all the roots and the rock and the dirt around you, you do see what could be described as a tunnel immediately ahead of you. If you were on a compass, it would be head south. But around you do see you see some of the old wardrobe, you see some of the old furnishings, but the tower is very much sunk underneath. And you look up and you do see the starting of a faint drip from a pipe just above you.
Told you it was the plumbing.
Where's the plumbing?
Perhaps we should contact the lady of the house.
I know message.
Is the lady of the house not in this pile of rubble?
Well, we'll find out
in
quite
another
quickly.
Make me an investigation check.
Oh, good. A 16.
16. As you go through all the rubble and you have a look around, you do not seem to find any kind of body. You find at one point you think you have found a hand sticking out the rubble, and then you realize it's an old suit of armor that's just unfortunately placed. But Preston, you're going to cast message, yes?
Yes.
What does your message want to say?
Lady Petunia, I think you need to call the plumbers. You have like a really bad stink hole.
after a couple of minutes, you start hearing back to you like,
I was in my room and it's just collapsed and I want to talk to Humphrey about this. Oh, golly gosh, are you all okay?
Yeah, but we're like underground and like your pipes are leaking.
Underground. If you can make your way to the storm cellar, there might be access there, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah.
I'll look at the other two and I'll be like, she said maybe if we get to the storm cellar.
Do you know where the storm cellar is?
Hold on, I'll ask. Which direction is the storm cellar? From where our tower was.
Well, the cellar was to the west of you from the tower, but I don't know where you are underground. So
Just look out your window at the big hole.
how many messages have you sent?
3.
I mean, it's a cantrip.
It's actually a cantrip. What's the range on message?
It is
120 feet.
Yeah. Okay. So you'd still just be in range.
I can't look out my window. There's dirt there now.
Would y'all like me to bring us back up? I could do that.
You can do that?
Well, I just woke up from a lovely nap, so I have all of my magical spell slots available, and I could do things such as teleport us.
Yeah, if you want to waste a spell slot.
Mayhaps. Perhaps there's some sort of danger down here that we should eliminate first.
Yeah, I was kind of like thinking that like maybe like a worm like tunnel through here.
So we follow the tunnel, and I'm just going to pull out my sword.
Is there actually a tunnel, Tim?
There is a tunnel. It's not exactly a big tunnel. It's actually quite a comfortable size for Preston. It might be a bit of a squeeze for Bean, but there is a tunnel in front of you. And technically, there is a tunnel around you because towers are tunnel shaped.
I can make it through here. You guys might, well, Bean, you're probably not going to be too comfortable.
Does not sound like a good plan. Yeah, if you want to get us up there, I'm fine. Go and talk to this lady.
Up or forward?
Forward?
Whichever way we're going.
Oh, it's like forward as opposed to up into the hole.
I don't know that I'm going to fit in the hole.
Okay, as you go forward, could you give me a marching order, please?
I'll go in front if I can fit.
Okay. Being as you get to it, it's a bit of a squeeze, but it's not so bad that it's causing you difficulty of movement. You can fit through there with a squeeze.
Okay. Not pleasant. Okay, then I will start crawling through and see what I can find.
Okay. And then who's behind you? Silas, and then Preston bringing up the rear. In order of squishiness. I like this. As you start crawling forwards, it's the passageway, like under your being as you're on your hands and knees, you kind of get the sense that this tunnel has been used recently and it's been used quite a lot. It's actually quite well trodden out, and it's not like a randomly dug tunnel. It's actually quite well trodden. And as you all make your way about 30 or 40 feet forward, you all take 17 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Can I ascertain what caused me to hurt?
Sure, make me an Arcana check.
Reasonable. 30 on natural 20.
Okay. You have the innate feeling that some wards, some areas are warded in such a way that they prevent people from entry, or they try to dissuade people from entering places. You get the feeling from your extremely high roll that this is warded against a certain type of being. Only
So-
like very high level practitioners of the arcane arts could even put these kinds of wards around their areas.
Might we be able to dispel that?
You can certainly try.
I would like to.
Okay. What level are you dispelling?
Well, I'm just gonna pop a 3rd level and roll for it because that's what the true caster does.
Okay.
So with my +6 charisma, that would come up to a 24.
Okay. As you describe how your dispel magic works.
So I flick my hand up, and a thrum of darkness extends out from my hand, and this little pool of darkness then shoots forward with a little tail forward and expands out in a kind of constellation-like spider pattern throughout
Okay.
the space.
So as this constellation flies out towards it, hits an arcane barrier of almost like deep emerald like energy in a wall, and as it hits it, the wall absorbs it. The spell did not work.
Powerful words.
Well, damn.
maybe we should go talk to her. She's got some really bad plumbing.
Apparently.
Yeah. Magically ruined plumbing.
Remember, everyone, always tip your plumbers, especially your magical plumbers.
It's important.
Very
Mhm.
important, especially nowadays. So as you're going down the tunnel, because you're up front, you can see the tunnel ahead roughly starts going into a fork. You do have you can go straight ahead, and there is a kind of meandering. There's a meandering kind of left turn. It's
Okay.
not like a sudden sharp one. It's quite obviously there, but it's a nice meandering one.
Okay. Straight or left, you guys?
I'll close my eyes and listen to see if I can hear anything different from the different directions.
Okay, make me a perception check then, please.
That does seem appropriate, doesn't it? Natural 20, 29.
Way to waste them.
Okay,
They named him after me for a reason.
oh dear. Okay, as you silence yourself and try to drown out the ambient noise around you, you put yourself into a kind of trance similar to like being one with the void around you, and you can hear in the distance skittering and yelping from immediately in front of you and immediately to the left. What languages do you speak?
I have Common, Goblin, deep speech, elven, and undercommon.
Okay. You can ascertain one or two words. The words you can ascertain are the name Kiddozen and Lady.
That was from the forward to the left, correct?
That was from the. You hear the word Kiddozen from the front and Lady to the left.
Some individuals speaking down these pathways. They said some names that a name I don't recognize. In this way, they spoke of a lady, perhaps of our house. Conspirators.
So maybe we go check on the ones coming after the lady first.
That is my first thought.
Okay, then I'm going left.
Okay. As you go left,
A
you
wand of magic missiles, as Silas is saying this.
the wands are out. As you're all going down this tunnel, about a good it's a bit more wider than the last one. Definitely not as dirt ridden. And underneath, you could start the dirts as you're being, especially as your hands are going through it. You start to feel solid stone underneath it, like carved solid stone. And about 20 feet in front of you, when you get a good when you're about 20 feet down this passageway, so you've got another 20 feet ahead of you, you can see some light ahead of you, firelight just ahead of you, and some skittering noises.
Great. I know I'm kind of squashed in this hallway, but I'm going to try and crawl as quietly as I can up there.
Make me a stealth check, please.
That's a 9.
That's a 9. As you get down low and you hunker down low and you're almost in a prone position, crawling forward with your hand on your sword as you're just crawling forward like that. You're you're about 5 foot from the mouthway, and you can see inside you can see this cylindrical looking stone room with a brazier burning in the center, and around it shadows dancing in the firelight. And one of these shadows is of a small, familiar looking reptilian dragonoid. Small one. And it turns to look at you. And it's peering into the darkness, and then it crawls forward just a little bit and says,
Is it you?
Nobody.
Nobody.
they take a step back and scream,
Nobody's here! Attack!
Sweet.
I'll take your initiative rolls that you had earlier. And
Then I'm very sorry I'm in the front.
no worries, you're good, don't worry.
It'll be fine.
So up first will be Silas. As you're behind Bean, you can see the mouth of this cave. You see this one little kobold-like creature in front is just yelling and screaming with the behind it. Like you see this silhouette from the fire behind it.
How difficult would it be for me to maneuver past Bean?
I'd say we consider difficult terrain to maneuver past Bean, but you could do it reasonably. Like it's difficult terrain. You're climbing over him to get out.
All right.
Out.
I'll excuse me, and I'll just pop very so slightly past him,
God, just move.
and I snap my fingers and invoke Pulse Wave forward, a 30-foot cone of Force Blast.
Okay. Is there a save on it?
That there is a save. That save is Constitution.
Okay. Let's get the stats. Okie dokie.
The number you're looking for is 22.
Okay. So, as you reach forward and set out this pulse wave, you suddenly hear that coming from the room as the wave itself, as it hits the brazier, like the fire dies down a little bit within the brazier itself. And you hear thuds against the far wall as you take and the one that's definitely in front of you flies back and hits the brazier and starts burning and melts.
Huh.
Maybe we should have talked to them first.
No, they were screaming about attacking. They weren't going to talk.
As I then
What's
flop
going
off
on?
of Bean's back past him.
Okay. With the rest of your movement, you can make it into the room.
Yeah, sure.
And
Are
as
they
you
still
make
in
it into
rounds?
as you make it into the room, you can see a very it's a nice spacious room, and you can see a nice convenient cone shape of dead looking kobolds ish. And there are still ones around the corner of the room now, just all staring you, looking at you. They are very shabby looking, with some of them looking in different states of decay around the room.
Disperse.
They all look at you, all like kind of afraid and concerned and confused. And unless there's anything else you want to do,
I'm good.
we go on to Preston.
What's going on up there? And I kind of walk between Bean's legs.
Okay, you can definitely do it. You're a kobold. You've done this before. You live your lives in tunnels. And you get out the other side and you come alongside Silas with your movement at the opening of this room, and around you are similar looking kobolds.
What's going on here? Why are you here?
One of them, who's immediately in front of you, just like kind of like, you can tell by looking on their face they're quite scared at suddenly seeing a lot of one of their compatriots fly into the brazier and melt. This one looks at you, one of their eyes brightened orange, staring back at you, one of them missing, and on their right side, with their right side of the face being half melted with some red ichor falling from it, just stares at you, goes,
We're here to work. What are you here doing?
We were invited to a dinner. What are you doing for work?
We're here to summon
Who are you trying to summon?
Kidozin.
Does Kadosi ring a bell to Preston?
make me a history check.
That would be a 25.
All right. Through your various adventures through the plains and through your long experience as an adventurer, you have heard tale of Kidozin, also known as the Shambling Prince, a name and figure mentioned in various historical texts of a great evil, a great destructive force.
Why would you want to summon Kadosi when you could worship Silas? And I point at Silas. He's a god.
Oh, dear Lord, please don't suggest that. Not again.
Make a deception check.
That is a soft 20.
That's fine, because these creatures have a negative to their charisma.
You gods?
Do you not see what Silas just did?
Email friends.
Gods do that.
You see this kobold look around and goes,
One moment.
Yeah,
And
I
all the
don't
kobold-
know.
and all the
Why
different
you
kobolds in
always-
the room come over and start gathering around and huddle around and start just chatting. And occasionally one of them pops their head up over the pack and just looks at you all. And they all just like in a murmuring in agreement and goes,
If you got, then you summon Kidozin. Yes?
Why would we want to summon Kadosi? We don't even like him.
But you got, you can summon. Our job done.
Little ones, do you even know what Kadozin looks like?
you see a few of them just start rubbing their heads. One of them, as you're coming into the room this point as well, one of them starts rubbing their head and trying to think. And as they're rubbing, their finger starts going further and further into their skull and through the skin. Then he comes down and they're like,
No. No one knows what Kidozin looks like.
Then, I have already fulfilled your wish, and I gestured to Bean, Kadozin, in the flesh.
And I'm going to stand, if I can, in a way that the flames that are in the room from the brazier shine off the goggles that Bean is wearing, and just try and like make myself as large and intimidating as possible to these kobolds.
And I do
Okay.
like minor illusion to make like a puff of smoke, just very parlor trick stuff.
okay, Bean, there is plenty of room in this room for you to stand up. And as the smoke comes out and the light reflects, and it does like the anime nerd style, ching! As you stand up, all the kobolds around you like going,
Oh. Kidozin.
and a few of them get down and start worshipping you, and one of them goes around and goes,
I go tell the boss to go that we got Kidozin summons and we get paid.
and one of
Who
them,
paid you to bring me here?
Oh, boss. Boss did.
And where is
Nice.
this boss?
they look around and goes,
The boss talks to us through the plant.
Silas, do you know anything about a plant?
Could I make perhaps some sort of knowledge check, illustrious dragon manager?
sure, make an Arcana or Nature check, whichever you're proficient in.
This feels important, so I'm going to give myself advantage.
Okie dokie.
28.
Okay, 28. You know of some spells, which are similar to like message or sending, which happen through plants and communication through plants. And some practitioners of the arcane arts, rather than using the copper wire around the finger or the incantations, sometimes use plants and tree roots to convey messages.
So it's Rary's vegetation bond.
Yeah.
It's just another way of conveying telepathic communication, another conduit. Nothing unlike a regular telepathic bond spell. Just a style.
Yes.
Then I'm going to try and crouch down to get next to one of these kobolds like you would with like a 4-year-old
Okay.
and just kind of be like, do you know where I'm supposed to meet your boss? Because I'd love to meet him.
Okay. As you get down and you say this to the kobold in front of you, gets up from its prostrate position and looks straight like nose to nose. And from this distance, you can see the flesh falling away from their skull. And there are some red ichor falling out of behind one of their empty eye sockets. He goes,
Well, the the boss said we can go. We have to bring you somewhere, but we have to ask her. She said she'd tell us more once we summoned.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. Do you want us to carry your weapon? Oh, great and powerful Kadozin, the Shambling Prince.
And all the kobolds in the room just start saying,
Oh, hail Kadozin, the Shambling Prince.
I'm gonna join in. Tarzan!
And I
This
just
has
go,
some very
Kadozin.
nobody
Kadozin.
touches my weapon. And I kind of sheath it.
Okay. We
and they look up and down and they go,
okay, we can take you. Hang on.
and they turn around and goes,
Make the hole bigger.
and you see a few of the kobolds are back. Just go,
Okay.
and they start just digging a bit of a bigger dirt hole in the side of this room.
They say, you follow, please.
And they start leading you forward. Out of this room going north. So from your recollection of where the house was, this is going underneath the main part of the house itself. And it takes a while. They're slowly digging out this tunnel to make make a larger space for the great and powerful Kidozin to walk through. But after a good 20 minutes of walking, you come to a deep-sided stone ziggurat in a very large and cavernous room. Around this ziggurat, you can see various aspects of the house that was above it now collapsed around. And around you, there is a few hundred kobolds, all moving things around, clearing things up, lighting braziers, and all getting ready for some preparation of some kind.
Great.
It seems we've set something in motion here.
It certainly does. Does one of you want to follow them in? Or I suppose the great and mighty Katosin should.
Just stay spry on your feet, and I'm going to wave my hand and cast Gift of Alacrity on Bean.
Ooh. And for those that do not know what the Gift of Alacrity is,
It lets him, for the next 8 hours, add a d8 to his initiative rolls.
Sweet.
good to know.
I am also going to touch him and cast haste on him.
Ooh,
That's pretty good.
interesting.
All right, now we have to fight them.
So around you have a few hundred kobolds, and going off from what you mentioned, your passive perceptions were, you'll notice that every single kobold in this room is either has red or green scales, and all of them are in some form of decay of some kind. You see either like some of them with like still their scales, but obviously a visible hole. One of them has their arm missing. One of them, when it walks by you, has nothing but a skull just still on their head with a tongue and red ichor oozing around its skull. Which actually reminds me, can everyone make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Great.
Illustrious Dragon Manager, is this a magical effect?
This is not a magical effect.
Okay.
19.
19.
15.
You have saved.
21.
You have all saved. Just out of curiosity, none of you are immune to poison, are you?
No, but I'm immune to disease.
Good, that's very good to know. It's good to know. Around the room, you can see various roots and foliage coming down from the house above you, and from the walls around, climb up around this ziggurat with some of these kobolds worshipping the roots themselves. And high up towards the pinnacle of the ziggurats, you do see a very dark red stained pinnacle.
Silas, what do you know?
There's some foul magics going on here, and frankly, I am deeply interested. Is another Arcana check, Dragon Manager.
Sure.
Although if I had to guess, it's Sacrificial Death Spike. Okay, we got a 24 for Sacrificial Death Spike.
It's a sacrificial death spike.
Could I be able to ascertain what kind of magics it is being used to fuel?
Okay, it's being used to fuel a combination of conjuration and necromancy, but it's very different from what you're used to. It's got a very you. It's a very different feeling from the type of magic you're used to expelling.
All right. Some sort of sacrificial magic used for some sort of inane dark magic. So I wonder if they intend to sacrifice you upon that spike. That would be quite intriguing, wouldn't it?
It'd be weird to summon somebody just to sacrifice them, yeah.
Sometimes you need just the right components for your spell.
They're going to be really disappointed.
Oh, yes, they will be.
Very, 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 very.
So,
One of the kobolds comes up next to you and goes,
so do you wish to accompany us to the top of this tower?
Sure, little guy. And can I just pick one of the kobolds up and put him on my shoulder?
the one that is just talking to you, that you can happily pick up and they put on their shoulder, and as you bring your hand away, you bring some of its flesh in your hand.
Sweet.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Just, okay, this is, I feel so blessed. All hail Godolphin, the shambling prince.
And all the kobolds around you go,
Oh, hail Godolphin, the shambling prince.
The Shambling
hail.
Prince.
Oh,
Yes.
toast and yeah.
and it's,
Let's shamble.
Yes, shambling prince. Up there at the top, please. Please, oh, great one.
Yeah, and I start walking him up there.
okay. As you can ascend this ziggurat, no problem. The kobolds around you start bowing in deference towards you, and occasionally you see the odd dirty look fired to the kobold that's currently sitting on your shoulder for somehow being ascended above all the kobolds at this moment. And as you all arise and you ascend to the top of this ziggurat, you see that the red staining around the top is not blood. It's still very red and has the appearance of blood. But you see, as you're getting closer, the tiny tendrils of roots gripping to the top of the ziggurat's pinnacle. Those of you that are proficient, please could you make a nature check?
I don't know about you, but I got a 22.
Okay. Silas, as you're looking at the almost tree sap around styled, it's like a combination between like tree sap and moss that's gripping to the top of this pinnacle, and you notice a few puffs of spores are coming off all around you. It's you've read about this kind of spores before, that kind of almost like they take over the body and become the host. The body they take over become host to a sickening plague, almost.
Well, see, what we have going on here is some hardcore mind control spores.
Great.
This feels like the kind of thing that they should pay prestigious adventurers to eradicate. Are we prestigious adventurers?
We're gods. What are you talking about?
I'm a shambling prince.
I'm just Silas Soddenwood. Yes, how to delete this issue.
As you're looking around at the top, you do see a half-covered chest in roots and a lot of this ichor. In fact, this ichor seems to be seeping directly from the box itself. There also, to the right of that box, is what looks to be a sacrificial altar of some kind.
There's a curious little box there hidden among the roots. Mayhaps we should retrieve that.
The box that's in the middle of all the mind control spores.
And Silas will start moving his hand as some of the roots start to brush off the rim of it, because I have telekinetic mage hand. Just trying to
Do,
brush
don't
some
you?
away. Yeah.
As you slowly start to try and brush it, you almost can actually see like the invisible fingers like start attracting some of the ichor that's coming from the box. But you start brushing it over, the two of the kobolds that are on top look at you and go,
Just no, stick, not the box. No, just this is boss says box, not touch.
Oh, my dearest apologies. And I'll put my hand down, but keep moving the mage hand because I don't need components to control it.
that's true, isn't it? Damn, those
Yeah.
aberrant mind sorceress.
This one's the telekinetic feed.
And as you can kind of see that one of the kobolds just turns around and almost as you keep trying to telekinetically move stuff, one of them keeps trying to put more of the ichor back on what you're moving. And then as you're all around, he goes, "What the one that's on your shoulder?" Bean goes,
So it doesn't. You sit over there, and we talk to boss and work out the next part of the plan. Okay?
I go sit on the little stage thing.
"Yep."
Okay. I'm going to take him and just put him back down. Go, come on, guys. It's showtime.
I feel so blessed to be touched by a dozen, the shambling prince. Yeah.
And that one goes off and just goes to a nearby root that seems to be in the ground and picks it up and gently, just through its eye socket, feeds this root directly into its head.
Preston,
That's not a thing that's supposed to happen.
Yeah, we don't normally do that.
You don't normally go around shoving tree roots through your head.
No.
well, I'm not sure if anyone else picked up on this, but these kobolds seem to be rapidly decaying around us.
Oh no, they look very dead. They look
Yes.
like they should be very, very dead.
Zombie plague mind control spores?
Something like that.
Shall I get access to that box?
I'd feel a whole lot better if you did.
Me too.
I'm excited
right.
to see what happens when the boss shows up.
That too. I'm going to expend 5 sorcery points to cast telekinesis. Oh, sorry, that's actually no. I know, actually not like that. Rewind. I'm going to spend 1 sorcery point and a 5th level spell slot to cast telekinesis without any non-material components.
Mm-hmm.
So suddenly the box just kind of rifts out of the ground.
Okay. As it rifts out the ground, the kobold that's still trying to put some of the ichor back on the box is sort of like brought up with the box and goes,
What? No. What's happening? What's happening, Chris? Just
and they look around and goes,
wait. No. This is wrong. Wrong. It's wrong. Wrong.
And
The one
Silas
that's-
is like looking away from the box entirely and just like opens it subconsciously.
and the one that has a root in its eye, the root in its eye, pulls the root out, and then suddenly all of the kobolds in this room all turn to look at you all and go,
That's not Kedosin. You're not Kedosin.
Of course, I'm Kadozin.
No, boss. The boss says you're not Kedosin. Kedosin isn't fairy. You lie.
and you see them all just turn and start walking slowly up this cigarette towards you all. I'd like you all to roll initiative, please.
Reasonable.
That is a 20.
Okay.
I got it.
29 from Silas.
23.
23 from Preston. And weirdly, 19 from the army of kobolds around you that are swarming up this cigarette towards you. So first things first, Silas, you have in front of you. You are still you are telekinetically holding up this chest. Still, remind me, is telekinesis a concentration check?
Concentration spell, yes.
Okay, so you have still the chest in front of you with a kobold attached to that one. You have within 10 feet of you at the top of this cigarettes, you have about 4 kobolds coming towards you. And up either side, you have easily 25 kobolds coming up all 4 sides of this ziggurat coming
All
towards
right. I'm going to look at the chest and use telekinesis to open it.
you. Okay.
And I'm not like dumping it. I'm opening it and angling it towards myself so I can see inside.
Okay. So as you open it, the kobold is attached to the lid of it. So between the kobold dangling on top of the lid itself, you do see a strangely contorted like heart. It has the appearance of a. It has the appearance of a. It's from your experience. It's definitely a. It's a heart with wooden bark around it, seeping red ichor with the occasional bloody tendril coming out from it towards, and it is beating. It is beating with a faint blue glow from the center of it.
I will bonus action control my mage hand to bring it to me.
Okay. And you can easily do that.
And I just reach out my slender hand and grasp it.
Okay. As you grasp it, you can feel the warm beating of this heart in your hand, and you can feel the blood, the red ichor dripping down your hand now.
If I still had emotions, I might feel excited right now. That's my turn.
That's your turn. Right. Next up is Preston.
So you said that they're coming up on 4 sides of the ziggurat.
Yeah. So from where you are, you have about easily 25 different packs of kobolds coming up each side of the 4-sided ziggurat. There is currently within 10 feet of you, like 4 kobolds on top, including one that's floating in the air attached to the telekinetically held chest.
I'm going to take a page out of Nat's book and cast Pulse Wave at the 4 in front of me, going down.
Okay. What's the save on that?
19 Constitution.
Okay, 19 Constitution. Okay. And as you send out this this pulse wave, remember this is Dunamancy magic, isn't it?
It is.
It is. So as you send out this wave, you suddenly see these 4 kobolds in front of you start floating up slowly in the air, and then suddenly be pushed back with such a velocity that 2 of them hit the other side of the walls and just splat, and are nothing but left a smear on the wall behind you.
And then I will use my movement to get behind the shambling prince.
And you can easily do that. And next up, and if there's anything else you want to do, next up it's Bean.
Yeah. So Bean is just going to kind of like draw this sword and hold it up, and a large thundercloud is going to start to roll out from above his head as he begins to rage.
Okay.
She really has bad plumbing. It's like starting to rain down here.
And as part of this giant storm that forms above his head, I'm going to cast a small lightning bolt at the one that's still hanging onto the chest above us.
Okay, what's the save for that?
It's a DC 18, and it is a strength save, it looks like. That doesn't make sense.
Well, whatever save it was, it got a natural 1.
Okay.
So
he's going to take 14 lightning damage from that.
So as this lightning bolt streaks out the sky and hits this kobold that's flying there, the lightning like courses through its veins and starts boiling it alive as it starts melting into a reddish black ichor and drips to the ground, dripping off the chest that's still floating in the air.
Great. Then I'm going to start swinging at any kobolds around me that I can hit.
Okay. So you can't hit any. There aren't any within your range at the moment, but I'll let you hold the action for when some come in range.
That works.
Okay. So next up, it's all the kobolds. So as you all around you, you can from your position, you can see all this swarm of different kobolds come crawling up the side of this ziggurat, and when from the side that you're on, Bean, as soon as a good 5 or 6 get within your range, you swing your sword towards them, and
that's a 29 to hit.
29. I'm saying it's a 29. You just cleft your sword through the first 5 towards you, rendering their heads from their skulls as their bodies tumble down the ziggurat enough, knocking a couple of them off balance a little bit, but still the swarm comes towards you.
Great.
Some of them are a bit further back and almost like reach into their bodies and pull out a globule of blood and scale and just throw it all towards you. So what is everyone's armor class?
23.
23.
Woo. 20.
Okay. And Preston?
What was it again?
What's your AC?
Oh, 14.
14. Okay. Only surprisingly, only 4 of them hit you. So 4 of them hits all of you. And you just take you'll take 16 points of what did I say it was? 16 points of acid damage.
Ooh, acid.
Okay.
And with that, they just use the rest of their movement to get to as far as they can of the ziggurat. Top of the round, Silas. So you're on top of the ziggurat. You've seen being cleft these some of the heads of these kobolds from their bodies. You've been hit by some some black and red ichor from these kobolds, and all around you there's a swarm of kobolds climbing the ziggurat towards the three of you at the top. You have in your hand this beating wooden heart.
As I gaze at the heart, I'm musing how big of an area of effect would I need to catch all of these kobolds.
All of these kobolds.
Yes.
Whew. You could get. You could get a reasonably large proportion of them all.
So here's a question for you, Tim. If he get half of the ziggurat and I get the other half,
You could feasibly get about 75% of the kobolds in the room.
With what?
With what spell would you like to use?
So, I am considering one just I think this is the one I think it is. It's Dunamancy fun.
Is this the one you were talking to me about the other day by any chance?
No.
Ooh.
No, yeah. This is Ravenous Void.
Okay. What's
Which
the area
is-
effect on it?
Which is like, yeah, so it's a 20-foot radius sphere, but then it also has another effect if you're within 100 feet of that sphere.
Okay.
That
100
could
feet
be-
would definitely cover the room.
All right, so we're just gonna really quick invoke a little Ravenous Void about dropping telekinesis. The box can drop on a kobold.
As
It's
you,
nice.
as you just drop the box, it clatters to the ground and starts rolling down the ziggurat and hits. It hits 8 kobolds as it's going down, knocking them right to the bottom of the ziggurat.
Yeah. So I invoke a Ravenous Void just above us, which when any creature ends their turn, starts their turn within 100 feet of that 20-foot radius of darkness and death. I just don't think it's darkness, just difficult terrain and death. They're going to make a saving throw, DC 22 strength save, or get yoinked in there and take 5d10 force damage.
Okay. Okay. That's within the start of their turn within 100 feet.
Yes.
Okay. So
That will affect my friends, but I have a plan for that.
Okay. That's when they start their turn.
Yes.
Okay. That is good to know. Is there anything else you'd like to do this turn?
So
As you summon this swirling void of darkness and death, sucking things towards it above your heads.
mayhaps we should make a mild exit in a moment. And that's my turn.
That's your turn. So the start of Preston's turn. Nat, read out the effect of that spell again. This is the start of Preston's turn.
That is how that works. A creature that starts turn within 100 feet of the sphere must make a strength saving throw. Will be pulled straight towards the sphere's center, ending in occupied space as close to the center as possible. Yoink. A creature that ends the space for the first time on a turn or starts its turn, there takes 5d10 force damage and is restrained until it's no longer in the sphere. If the sphere is in the air, the restrained creature hovers in the middle. Yada yada yada. They can make a strength strength check against your spell save DC as an action to end the restraint and get the hell out. But then it'll try to pull him again.
Okay, Preston, can you make me a strength saving throw, please? What's the magic number, Nat?
22. That hasn't changed.
22.
I need one round and the kobolds will be dead. TM.
So I got an 18
Okay.
-2.
Okay. So you are pulled towards the swirling chasm of inky black void above you, and take, was it 5d10 force
If he
damage?
ends his turn still in there, he takes 5 to
Okay.
10 force.
Right. So you are currently now yoinked towards this void above you, and you feel like you're being pulled towards the center and down a very small hole.
Yeah.
But with such
How far was I
ferocity.
pulled?
You only pulled like you said you were like 10 foot off the ground. You said you were doing it.
Yeah, so it's like 30 feet into the center.
Yeah, so you're only
Notably, you can still see. It doesn't obscure vision. It
Yeah,
just
you're-
looks voidy.
Is
Yeah,
he
you're
close
only-
enough that I can like grab him as he starts to float up and just pull him down?
You could, but you use your reaction to lop off the heads of the kobolds in the last one.
I'm good.
Um,
I'm good. I'm just gonna Misty Step back next to Silas.
Misty Step's a teleportation spell, yes.
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 For some reason, your teleportation is blocked.
Rude.
Hmm.
You,
However,
you-
when I
you-
And Misty Step.
So, however,
as you
when
attempt
I-
to try Misty Step, you some of the ichor around you starts as like that just starts as that's coming towards this chasm with you, just like latches onto you and inhibits you from able to Misty Step.
Okay. Let me see then.
that's
what
concerning.
No. I will level my wand of magic missiles at the kobolds below me
Okay.
and unleash 2. I'm just gonna use 2 charges.
Okay, so how many darts does that produce?
Just a second, I have to look it up. Has 7 charges. For 1 charge, you can cast. That's. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a wand of magic missiles. Oh no, I do have a wand of fireballs. I do. No, I took.
We have one of the fireballs.
Yeah, I've got a wand of fireballs.
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a wand. One of my commons was a wand of magic missiles, and the other was wand of fireballs. But I'm attuned to the wand of fireballs, so. You can
Because
use
the one of magic missiles does not require attunement.
Yeah, that's why I took the wand, the magic missiles too. So I'll get an additional D6. So I'll do the 3rd level spell plus an extra D6. So
Was this fireball or magic missiles?
fireball,
Okay.
because I have both.
Okay, what's the save on it?
Dexterity save.
What's the number I have to beat? Oh boy, this should be fun. All right, Jeremy, whereabouts towards the crowd of kobolds do you want to aim at? Near the top of the ziggurat or down the bottom of the ziggurat?
The area that's not going to get any of us. So probably further down the ziggurat.
Okay. Well, I can tell you about 30 odd kobolds have failed their dexterity saving throw. How much damage would you like to do to each kobold in that radius?
So anybody that didn't save takes 40 damage. Everybody else takes half. So the rest of them would take 20, the ones that did save.
Okay, I'm still working out some math here quickly. Okay. So 40 damage to each of the 30 kobolds that failed their saving throw. That is 1,200 points of fire damage, technically, on each kobold in one attack. You didn't just fire a fireball down at them from as you're being sucked into this hole around you and you feel the constraint of this void behind you. You let out this expanding fireball, and against the odds of some of the fireball being pulled off into the void around you, it goes forward and detonates in front of this into this mass of kobolds in front of you, and all that remains is the embers on the corpses and hitting some of the plant life around you, leaving a nice crater in the middle of this pile of very dead kobolds.
See, told you we were gods.
1,200 points of fire damage. Yeah, you gods. Here's me worrying about giving you health potions.
That's my turn.
Okay, so end of your turn, you take 5d10.
You take 5 to 10 force damage, which I will roll because it's my spell and I should feel bad.
I'll be fine.
What? Okay, well, that's not good. 42 points of force damage.
Nice.
You take
I'm
42
still up.
points of force damage as you're pulled more into this hole. End of your turn. It's up to Bean's turn. Bean, you have to make a strength saving throw to try and remain grounded on top of this ziggurat. You're nude. You're nude.
You're muted.
Muted.
Still muted.
It's still muted.
Sorry, it would have been a nat 1, but because of my barbarian class features, I also have advantage because I'm raging still. That would be a 27, but I'm going to take a 29 anyway because barbarian and echo.
Yeah, you know the storm around you overwhelms the. You know, you've lived through storms stronger than this ziggurat is trying to, like, this void is trying to suck you in. You're like, you're nothing compared to what I've lived through, as you remain sure-footed and grounded to the top of this ziggurat. You see in front of you the remains of this fireball explosion, knocking out a lot of the kobolds around you. The ziggurat is this void around you is sucking in your friend Preston, and still. Kobolds are still climbing up the edge of this ziggurat.
Okay. Silas, are you still holding out the heart in front of you?
Yes, quite dramatically.
Then I'm going to take a swing at the heart.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
That's a 20.
That will hit.
Okay. And it does 15 damage plus 4, so 19 damage to the heart.
Okay. As you bring down your sword into this heart, it clefts deep into it and almost gets stuck and goes a lot further in than you expect. And then you pull it as it gets wedged onto the end of your blade as you rip it out of Silas's hand, and it's on the end of your blade. It's still beating, but it's now like oozing black and red ichor down your blade towards your hilt.
Sweet. Then instead of my second attack, can I try to like scrape it off on the ziggurat?
Sure.
Sure.
As you scrape it off, I will allow you to do 1 plus your strength modifier in terms of damage.
Okay. So it would be
1 plus 9, I believe, because of your belt.
Yeah.
Plus rage, whatever your rage bonus is.
Plus 4. So that's another 14 damage.
All right. So as you basically just this heart, as you're like this wiping it off of the side of the cigarette, the heart splits in two, and you all around you, the ground starts vibrating as a shrill shriek echoes around your ears, and you see the kobolds start putting their hands to their ears as this red ichor bleeds out of their ears towards you. And at the bottom of this pyramid, of this ziggurat, from the entrance that you came, you see a tiny gnomish woman, not too dissimilar from one that greeted you only the previous evening, except she's twisting and turning and molding into this new creature.
Evil Gardenia. Okay. How far away is she?
She's at the bottom of the ziggurat, so she's about 50 feet. If you were to Superman jump, theoretically speaking, into the crowd of kobolds at the bottom, now piling up this pyramid, you've seen Aquaman.
Yeah.
Remember that scene from Aquaman where he's diving into the trench and he sees all the trench beings around him?
Sure.
That's what it'd be like if you wanted to jump straight down. Just saying. Not any ideas in my head. I'm just saying.
I think I'm just going to slowly start walking through the crowd of kobolds.
Okay.
And as I walk into them, I want the lightning to come down one more time on the closest one in front of me.
Okay. I'll tell you what. What's your damage with your lightning bolt?
3d6.
Okay. Okay. How about this? As you're walking down, your lightning strikes and starts arcing out from the nearest kobolds, taking out 2 or 3 at a time rather than individual one. As you just slowly start walking towards this twisting form of Lady Petunia Gardena at the base of the cigarette.
Cool.
Rightio. And with that, it's Lady Petunia Gardena's lair action.
Perfect.
And this being, as you're all staring down at her, she twists and forms into the best way to describe it, she now has a wooden crown of desiccated wood, and from the gaps in the wood, 5 faint glowing blue eyes now appear, with one in the center. She has roots and red sap seeping down into what remains of her bones as she extends to her full, kind of similar height to you, Bean, with a open chest cavity, and just looks towards you and opens their mouth as spores pull out of it as they point their finger towards the top of this ziggurat and snaps their fingers. The void disappears.
Is that a spell?
That is a lair action, not a spell.
Lair actions can be spells. Just throwing it out there, but okay.
Okay. You are within 60 foot. Do you want to try and counterspell this lair action?
Better. I'm going to.
I will allow it.
Oh, I have new void counter spell. It's called Temporal Shunt.
Okay.
So I attempt to banish her through time until her next turn, canceling the action. She gets a
Okay.
wisdom save though.
Okay, which she has advantage on because she
Why not?
is advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects.
Most bosses do.
What's the number?
22.
Natural 20, 25.
Ugh. Okay,
So-
I tried.
So at the top of this ziggurat, thankfully, Preston, you drop to the ground as the void that was sucking you in is no longer there. Yeah, And that's all you can kind of ascertain for now. As the kobolds turn, as they a lot ones that are down the pier now start grouping around Lady Gardenia and almost like try to get between her and Bean and making a kobold shield. The others like start crest ziggurats and start trying to physically tear into Silas and Preston at the top of this ziggurat. What is both your ACs minus any magical effects?
What do you mean by magical effects?
So things that, for example, like mage armor. Actually, no, you're wearing what represents the Magi, yeah?
Yeah,
That's a magical item, yeah?
correct.
Not right now.
Rude.
Both of you make an Arcana check, actually.
28.
28. Okay. You get the sense that you are currently under the effect of an anti-magic field. At the top of the cigarette.
Okay.
So you okay, not too bad. A good like 12 kobolds crest the top and start trying to claw into the two of you. And only one of them managed to get any kind of purchase on the both of you, dealing a paltry 2 points of acid damage. Paltry amount of damage. And with that, the end of the kobold's turn. Top of the round, it's Silas.
Well,
So you have around you, you have you have about 12 kobolds. Straight down in front of you, you see Bean storm around them, striking down on different kobolds as a large kobold wall is starting to amass in front of him. Directly behind him is Lady Gardenia at the bottom of the cigarette. Preston is currently lying on the ground next to you, and you're currently under the effect of a anti-magic field.
all right. I'm going to use some class features then, because those aren't magic.
Of course.
Unless they say magical scanning. No, we're good. I'm going to activate warp reality, just on top of the ziggurat. It's a 20-foot radius aura around us for the next minute. I can designate all of my friends and myself to not be affected by it. Other creatures treated as difficult terrain, when they start their turn, they take 2d10 psychic damage, no save. As a
Okay.
bonus action, I can end the aura and teleport my fam, but that's not going to help right now.
Good to know. So what does this warping reality look like?
So he kind of rings his hand down to his side sharply, and or you ever like play Twilight Princess and start the wolf link attack, and that like targeting aura womps around you?
Yeah.
It's that, that little orange rimmed darkness just extends out.
Awesome.
And I'm going to bonus action use Revelation in Flesh, 2 modes for 2 sorcery points, and I become aware of the location of any hidden or invisible creature within 60 feet automatically, and I begin flying.
Okay. Okay. So Preston, from your perspective, you suddenly see this aura go up around you. It just looks like normal. It looks like it looks completely normal to you. But as you see Silas doing this, he brings his arm to his side, and suddenly he starts to float ever so lightly off the ground, while seemingly the kobolds around you are in some kind of sheer panic and terror, as some of them start attacking each other, unaware of what's happening, or some of them start just like digging their claws into their face and ripping out what's remains of their flesh. This is happening all around you, but you don't seem to. You get the idea that Silas has done something, but you don't know what.
Can I make an Arcana check because I'm a Dunamancer?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check.
Yeah. This is my Aberrant Mind Sorcerer 18th level feature, but it certainly has that theme.
Oh yeah.
That is a 22.
Oh yeah, you definitely get the idea that this is a flavor of Dunamancy that you've seen some practitioners use before, none to the expertise that Silas is currently now using it.
Kind of land there on the ground, and you just kind of see the little kobold hand come up, thumbs up.
From between all the kobold corpses around you, just this little one finger comes up.
And
I'm red, so I stick out because they're black and green.
Yeah, black
Yeah.
and green. Yeah.
And if it pleases the Dragon Court, I would like to fly up out of the aura of anti-magic, because those are usually fairly small.
Yes, you can. You can fly out of that aura. In fact, you fly out, and just where you had placed that void beforehand, it seems to have like it wasn't there at all. You feel whatever was like blocking you, like you now feel that block has been lifted.
So Nat knows that anti-magic fields usually suppress but don't dispel spells. So does the void spring back into existence now?
Yes.
Oh, yay. I'm right there. I'm going to make a strength save.
Say for me.
Okay. Yeah, I can't even make this saving throw reasonably.
I can't either. With a natural 20, I have a -2.
I think I need a 19. So yeah, I yoink into the middle and go, oy vey. And I'll just sit there and take the 5d10 force damage. It's
So
okay.
as you fly up and out of the field, you have this one brief moment of, I can breathe again. As this void just appears and you just go like flying towards the center of it, and like, not again.
That could end the concentration, but I want to kill some goblins.
Kobolds.
It's okay. Kobolds.
Same
They're
difference.
all the same
They're
to
all
me
the
in my brain. I take 14. And I'm gonna make. I can't fail that concentration check.
I feel that Preston has taken the raw end of that deal.
Yeah, I did. Why couldn't you roll that for me?
D10s, high variance.
14 versus 41. Okay.
42. It was
42.
big
Yeah.
different numbers.
Oh dear me.
That's me.
That's you. Okay. Preston, as you are there on the ground, covered by the corpses of various of others of your kin, your thumb in the air, you look up to see Silas suddenly flying into the void that you were once constricted into. And as you push some of the corpses off you and get to your feet, you have half movement now. But you have around you, you can see more of these. Well, actually, no, because of Silas's first effect. You got a bit of breathing room for now. There are kobolds coming towards you, but there are none in the immediate vicinity to be able to get to you. You can see Bean striding towards this horde of kobolds at the bottom of the ziggurat, with Lady Gardenia, the form of the evil Lady Gardenia, at the bottom of the ziggurat.
So with that high of an Arcana check, would I kind of notice where the anti-magic field ends?
Yes, you would. And because you don't suffer under the effects of difficult terrain, you could easily make it to the edge, no problem.
So I want to make it to where I can get my casting off and hopefully not get sucked up into the void.
Okay. You how to work this out. Okay, you can get to the edge. And you kind of like the best way I'll describe it, I'll tell you what, I'll describe it like this. You get to the edge of the anti-magic field and you can stick your head out and you can fire something, but you just feel yourself being dragged up along the radius edge of the anti-magic field towards it. So you're kind of like a ticking clock going upwards kind of deal.
Okay, so what I'll do is before I do this, free action, take one of my healing potions.
Yes, you can. I believe that is.
Those things are like 10d4 plus 20, right?
4 plus 20.
Yes.
Because I'm a kind of benevolent DM. I mean, just be glad, you didn't use that heart to, I don't know, summon kiddos in the Shambly Prince.
All I'm picturing for this wall of kobolds in front of me is that one episode of Gravity Falls where all the like gnomes in the forest make a giant like gnome mech together and just like climb on top of each other.
Yes.
Okay.
So I get
Cannon.
36 back.
36 back. Yeah, you've nearly recovered from being damaged by your own party member. So as you use your free action to take that potion and you stick your arm and your head outside the magical field to the point where you can start casting spells again, but still remain just far in that you're just getting slowly dragged at the radius. As you start getting dragged at the radius and start floating in the air a little bit, what do you want to cast?
I am going to cast on Lady Petunia 60 feet from me right now.
Easily, yes.
I'm going to cast Reality Break. It's an 8th level Dunamancy spell. You shatter the barriers between realities and timelines, thrusting a creature into turmoil and madness. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or it can't take reactions until the spell ends. The affected target must also roll a d10 at the start of each of its turns. The number roll determines what happens to the target as shown on the Reality Break effect table.
Is that if they save or fail? Or do they fail to save?
It's on a failed save.
Okay.
So I think the save only affects the reactions. They get reality breaks no matter what.
Okie dokie. Let's. What's the number?
19.
They make it with a dirty 20.
I am going to use a class ability.
Oh?
Yes. To coronal shift and make them re-roll that 20.
That goes to a 23.
Okay.
But good use of a chronomancy spell. Damn. But yeah, but they're still affected by the reality break, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to roll a d10 at the start of their turn. I will note that. Okay, and I'll say because you're at the edge of the anti-magic field, that you don't end your turn in the void itself. You're slowly going towards it, like you're being hampered by like the anti-magic field itself is extremely difficult terrain. It's like you're going through treacle towards you're going towards your sudden but inevitable doom slowly, but you can still do stuff.
Okay.
Okay. End of your turn. We're up to Bean. Bean, you casually just look over the shoulder to see how your compatriots are doing, and it's just a case of you slowly see Preston slowly going through the air towards the void darkness, and Silas just went straight into it. But you yourself are still striding towards this mech kobold wall in front of you.
I was gonna say I have a -1 to Arcana, so I don't even fully know that I know that Silas did this to himself.
They are doing something weird is happening behind you, but you don't need to understand that.
No.
You have your purpose.
Then yeah, if I essentially put my head down and charge towards this kobold wall,
I like what you're thinking, yeah.
can I just full on use my horns to try and break through them.
What's your movement speed?
My normal speed is a 40.
Okay.
Okay.
So okay. You want to charge straight towards them?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're using your bull rush feature, aren't you, as your mentor?
I'm not using Goring Rush because I don't think I have to dash to them. I'm
Okay.
literally just running straight in.
Okay, as you run towards it, it's as you're running towards them, the crimson kobold shamblers before you start amassing and trying to firm up the barrier that's protecting their boss from you. But you just walk into them, and the combination of the storm swirling around you and your own might, you just dashing these kobolds like just off to the side, like you're just causing a wedge between them all as you're diving straight into this wall. And you easily, like, some of the kobolds are getting zapped and start slightly melting. Some of them like go half off and like ping off in different directions, but you're just striding and running straight towards Lady Gardenia.
Cool. And then do I have enough action still to swing at her?
Sure.
Okay.
As you like get through, you crush through that wall and you get to the other side, and you just have enough of a room to swing your sword at Lady Gardenia, who is looking towards you, and almost like from three of the eyes that are just facing you, there seems to be a slight look of terror as
Cool.
she sees you emerge from the other side of this wall, storms swirling around you and kobolds flying all over the place.
That is a 25 to hit.
That will hit.
Then she's going to take 20 damage from that.
Okay. And remind me, that's what kind of damage is it?
That is just straight up slashing, I believe. It's just my longsword.
Is your blade magical?
It is.
Okay, no problem. As you go in, you just slice, and you slice off a clean part of the branch crown that's on her head.
Cool. Then I'll take my second swing if I can.
Yes, you can.
Okay. That is a 22.
That will hit.
Okay. And that's a 15 damage.
Okay, that takes it down to awesome sauce.
Cool.
So as you go in, you snap off another part of the crown, and you just staring dead eye, within 5 foot of Lady Petunia Gardenia.
Hold on one more second.
No worries.
Can I take my reaction then?
Sure.
Okay. Then I need her to make me a strength save, please.
Oh boy. Wizards famously known for their strength. What happens? She
gets knocked down.
All right,
I
she
just
gets
run up
knocked
and
down.
Push her on her ass.
You swipe as you're bringing your blade back, you hook her on the back of her ankle, just trip her up. She falls backwards to the ground and just like looks in slight terror and almost like affronted by, you would do this to me? Kind of look at you.
Does she know who I am? I'm Katosin.
Do you say that to her?
Absolutely.
She goes,
You are a pretender to the throne.
Perhaps.
If that's the end of your turn, she's going to use a lair action. So the anti-magic field is dismissed. And she's just going to look at you.
Love that.
And she is just going to, her eyes flash, completely go dark. All 5 of her eyes flash dark at you. And you just feel some thorns and your feet just pierce into you. And her eyes come back all blue, and she just gives a slight smile looking at you.
Great.
That's all you need to know right now.
Okay.
As Lady Gardenia just looks at you and just crawls to her feet using half her movement and gets slowly backwards.
Tim,
Yeah.
could she make a strength save?
Okay. Actually, she also has to make a.
Yeah.
Jeremy, can you run me a D10 for me, please?
Oh yeah, that. Oh god, so many
Um,
things.
So, okay. Oh, wow. She's going to use one of her legendary resistances.
Reasonable.
So she's down to. Okay. So there's that. What reality breaking effect is Lady Gardenia currently under?
You're
You're
muted.
muted.
You're muted.
I rolled a 3, so it is Rending Rift. The target must make a dexterity saving throw, taking 8d12 force damage on a failed save, half as much damage on a successful one.
Was that
It's a pretty good spell.
8d12
That was
8d12.
18. Yeah.
on a dexterity saving throw that fails?
Just imagine fireball, but make it d12s.
I'm going to expend one of the other legendary resistances she has to take half of. Jerry, do you want to roll me 8d12 for me?
I just did.
8d12, bloody hell. These spells, y'all.
So if she had passed, she would have taken, or hadn't passed, she would have taken 52. So half of 52.
It's 26.
26. What type of damage is it?
Force.
No, flipping heck. Okie dokie. Good to know. So as she just does this and just gets like, you see like half of the bark on her arm just rips off into this spatial void, and you just see, Bean especially, you're so close, you see some of the flesh that's oozing beneath it like pulses, and some tree sap comes off it. It starts to kind of scab over a little bit, but she's going to use whatever move she can to back up a little bit, and then she's just going to unload 4 arcane blasts into Bean.
Great.
So
I would like to respond with another temporal shunt, this time at 6th level. I'm going to target her and myself.
okay, what's that save again?
Wisdom, DC 22.
Okay. She didn't save.
Okay. So she is, unless she is legendary resistance, she is shunted forward in time until her next turn, and her action is canceled. And so am I. Until my next. Wow, those are really bad rolls. I failed my wisdom save. This is
does
so that when
mean
all the kobold.
void is gone?
No, because
Okay.
that is not a requirement for concentration.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it does mean I'm not in the middle of the orb when the thousands of kobolds slam into it, which was really kind of the goal.
Yeah. So she's now gone right now, which also means one of her effects next turn saves Bean. Yeah. She's about like Bean. You could see her trying to charge a. You see some of the red ichor and the red sap coming off her extended arm towards you, and they start slowly glowing a deep blue within this red sap. As it's about to fire towards you, she's gone. It's like she wasn't even there. You'd see like a slight reverberation as she's gone.
Huh.
Preston, as you see this happen, as you're looking up towards Silas, you suddenly see a reverberation around him, and he's gone. Like it's like someone's trying to like VCR pausing.
Yep.
That's what it kind of looks like before he disappears.
Yep.
But the void
The
still
really
remains.
weird thing is that neither I nor her remember me doing this after the spell is done. Because that's how the spell works.
Great.
Flipping heck. Okay. So that's Lady Gardenia's turn. So we have a lot of kobolds, which that is, I can tell you for one, Nat, there's about 100 or so kobolds in the room. All of them have a +1 to their save. Even if they rolled a nat 20, they do not save. So suddenly, Preston and Bean, as you're in this ziggurat, in this chamber, Bean, you're facing down, and for a moment you're trying to work out where this evil being has gone. You and Preston, you're at the top trying to work out and ascertain if Silas is okay. You suddenly see one kobold fly straight towards the center of the void, and then another, and then another. And Bean, as you turn around, all the kobolds that were right around you, scattered around trying to jump on you, are suddenly now all being slow motion pulled towards the center of this room, and they start all impacting into each other and keep like forming and molding into a new kind of creature. Like there's no sense of form or reality anymore. There's just a mass of blood and ichor and bone and scale at the center of this room. That's 100 or so kobolds being pulled into the center of a void.
If you're wondering, it's 35 damage.
Yeah, so 35 times 100, Nat. That's 3,500 points of damage from a spell. Damn it, using these 4th edition rules sucks. So, yeah, top of the round.
So I reappear in the closest unoccupied space, which I imagine is a little farther away from the center, which is where I was at.
Yeah, you appear a good you appear next to Preston. The anti-magic field is gone. So
Yeah.
is the void remain?
Yeah, the void's there. Although when I reappear, I have to make a strength save.
Yes, you do.
And look at that, I continue to not make that. As I get yoinked, and as I'm getting yoinked through the air, I end concentration on it, so I just kind of lob through the air and then stabilize.
Are you still flying by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, as you are catapulted straight forwards towards the void disappears, and you keep flying towards the ceiling. You stop an inch before you deal a lot of damage to yourself, and you just slowly move yourself back.
And then a giant blob of kobold flesh hits the ground.
Yes. Preston.
Oh no. I did it again.
It's my turn, right?
Preston, don't worry. I don't know what to say, buddy. You just have a lot of, like, a tsunami of ichor and blood and bone and scales just drop on you, and it starts flowing down the ziggurat. Just make me a dexterity save for the hell of it.
Nat 20.
You stand firm and you plant yourself down, and in fact you grab what remains of the chest and just sit in it, and you use that to gently surf down the ziggurat on this tsunami of ichor and blood to the bottom. And you get out of this chest and you just like, it's your turn.
I would like to ready Psychic Crush for when she reappears, and then be done.
Okay, you ready Psychic Crush for when she reappears.
I'm going to put my Wand of Magic Missile away. Wand of Fireball. Pull my Wand of Magic Missile and ready in action, so when she appears, I'm going to dump all 7 charges into her.
Okie dokie. Okay. End of your turn. Bean. I don't know what to say to you, buddy.
Yeah. So I was watching the woman who I knocked on the ground get up and try and murder me. She vanished.
She vanished.
Then I turn around, the wall of kobolds that I just marched through just got sucked into space and turned into this blood and gut tsunami down the ziggurat.
You see the ziggurat, you see like Silas randomly appear, you see Preston like toboggan in a chest down to the bottom of the ziggurat, and you're seeing this tsunami come towards you, and it washes over you. But you're just like, in fact, just make me for the hell of it, make me an Arcana check.
Oh, you know I'm gonna. Yeah, that's a 13.
Okay, you're thinking really hard about what's happened, and you take a single point of psychic damage, trying to think and comprehend what has happened in the last 6 seconds.
Sure. Yeah, this has been a lot.
The turn is yours.
Yeah.
Like-
Then, as I'm watching this, I guess my first thought would be if Silas can suddenly show up out of nowhere, this woman's probably coming back too. And I'm just going to grab my sword and like ready it, like I'm going to stab where she was a second ago.
Okay.
Just hope she reappears in that same spot.
Okay. With that action readied,
Mhm.
Random question to you 3DMs. How would you do layer actions if the creature is about to reappear? Would you still do the layer action? Or
If she's not there, I'd assume she couldn't take it.
I would look at what the layer actions are like and see if they feel like something she's doing or something that's just happening. That's how I do it.
Yeah, I normally assume layer actions are like a conscious choice, but
okay,
Yeah.
no worries. So
which reminds me, do I know anything more about the random thorns in my foot or whatever
Oh yeah.
as I re-enter this turn?
as you re-enter this turn, you make me a nature check.
Sure. That's a 17.
Okay, you've had some experience being a barbarian that you have going around dealing with ways that nature can both harm and heal and corrupt people. You get, as you see where the thorns have struck into your leg, the blood that it's caused to seep out from your leg at that point, it's not coagulating, it's not healing. You get the feeling that whatever she did to you with her lair effect is preventing you from regaining any kind of hit points.
Great.
But at the start of her turn, the blood starts coagulating and you start healing.
Perfect.
She appears shunted, like right behind you, and I'll do this in initiative order. Silas first, followed by Preston, followed by B. Being allow you to, like, you as a barbarian, you're aware innately that she appears right behind you, and you can just like, you're not getting surprised by her.
Sure.
So first things first, Silas.
Psychic Crush, heightened rolling, int save with disadvantage, DC 22.
Okay, so that would just be a straight roll because of
Yeah.
effect. Saves of 23.
All right, so he still takes half, which is 25 psychic damage.
Okay.
And that's it. If she had
Okay.
failed, she would have been stunned too, but you know.
Okay, next up, Preston. How many charges of magic missile were you dumping into her?
All 7.
Okay.
She takes 32.
Okay. 32 points of
Hold on. No. 25.
25 points of force damage.
Yep. And the wand does not break because I rolled a 13.
Okay. Bean, I'll allow you to use all your attack actions on this.
Sweet.
Get 'em.
That is a 30 for the first one and an 18 for the second attack.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So she takes 17 off the first one and another 16 off the second one.
Okie dokie. Yep. Good. So she reappears, shunted, like her arm's still extended. Just appears, and in front of her is no longer the barbarian that she was about to try and decimate. But suddenly she gets like ripped by this spell, and loads of darts just impale into the side of her face. And you turn around and try and cleft her back in half, and she's like, "What? Actually, she has to make another D10. Jeremy, do you have to make another D10 roll for her?
Reality break too.
Oh yeah.
Dots.
Two.
So what does a 2 do?
2 does. Just a second, I have to get back to it.
It's good.
Visions of the Far Realm. The target takes 6d12 psychic damage and is stunned until the end of its turn.
Is there a save on this?
It is a wisdom save at the end of their turn.
Yeah, to end the effect for good.
Can you roll the damage for me, please?
Sure.
I just need to do some math in my head.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okie dokie.
$51.
Okay, and she is stunned, yes.
Yes.
Okay. And just make a wisdom saving throw, yes?
Yes.
Me. Which she gets a natural 20 on, so she's now no longer stunned.
Hold on. I'm going to use my last chronal shift to make you roll that. Re-roll that.
Do I use the last legendary resistance, or do I just allow it? I'm just going to use her last legendary resistance because she rolled a natural 1.
Okay.
So, reality break is finally done its job. Clap, clap.
She has no idea what is happening right now, but as she's looking around the room, she sees there is just destruction and death. And actually, it reminds me. No, that's fine. That's good. That's fine. It's good to know. That's something different. Okay, top of the round. Silas.
I love it when you say top of the round. I'm going to cast a 8th level spell called Reality Break on her.
Go ahead.
Make wisdom save. Whether you succeed or not, you're affected by Reality Break. If you fail, you can't take reactions for the duration of the spell.
Well, I failed.
All right.
So how much damage?
None right now. Just the start of her turn, she rolls roll a d10.
I've rolled 2 d10s now.
Oh no, the other one ended.
Did it end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just putting it back on.
Okay.
And I'll fly up to her. Well, closer to her. I don't think my 30-foot can actually get to her at this juncture.
You get most way down. You're good like 15, 20 feet from her still.
Yeah. And that will be me.
Okay. Next in the order, Preston. What's your movement speed?
Oh no, we got the freezies.
You know what? I'm just going to cast Magic Missile at 7th level.
Oh, okay. How much damage?
Just a second.
That's 9 missiles, right?
Yeah.
Oof. I once cast a 13th level magic missile at my players,
Oh, wow.
just because
Oh boy.
occasionally you got to toss the rules out the window.
Yeah. I'm just looking at this homebreed creature going, this went down a lot quicker than I thought.
18th level will do that.
37.
Okie dokie. Okay. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
How close is she to me?
Well, you're on the. If you're facing her, she's about a good 40 odd feet. So you got to go around the corner of the ziggurat and move towards the base.
Okay, I'm going to pull out my broom of flying.
Okay. What does your broom of flying look like?
It basically looks like a tree branch. It doesn't have like the bristles like a normal broom does. He basically just whittled a tree and turned it into a broom of flying.
Awesome sauce. Okay. And you can fly on over if you wanted to.
Yep.
Okay. Bean, your turn. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Ooh. That is a 17.
Okay, you fail. You take. Okay, you take 21 points of necrotic damage.
Ooh. Okay.
And that's all I need to know for now.
Sure. Then I'm gonna start hacking at her if I can.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So that's a 19 and a 23.
Both hit.
Okay. So she takes 17 from each of those hits, so that's 34 damage. And then I'm gonna hit her with a lightning bolt too from my storm aura
Okay.
for another 14 damage.
She is looking incredibly rough. You can see that you've cleft off a lot of the outward facing bark, and when you struck her with the lightning, you can start to see smoke and some fire lighting on her, and some of the ichor that's coming from her veins is now starting to boil. If that's into your turn,
It is.
Nat, can you roll me a d10, please, and let me know what the effect is?
So working a little ahead to try to get this going faster. Got a 9 for a chill of the dark void. She takes 10 d12 cold damage and is blinded until end of the turn, which is 69 cold damage.
Nice. Nat. 1, she's resistant to cold damage. So
Dang it, it's
69
less
and a half.
damage.
But
39?
34.
34, there we go.
But how would you like to do this?
I think the reality break opens up a little portal at this kind of ringing sound of darkness and cold, kind of the chill sound you see in some old like RPGs when someone gets like chilled by a white.
Yeah.
And this portal opens and she just falls through it and disappears in this tiny little bead of darkness and nothing, poofs out of existence. And then back the opposite direction. She falls to the ground, completely frozen solid.
Frozen solid, like any kind of liquid inside her has made her kind of like just frozen her in place, and she hits the ground. Parts of her shatter, and being as you see, her head is shattered, and the bottom part of her jaw shatters with it. The rest of the crown that was her head remains. You see just lots of broken twig and bones and ichor now starting to defrost on the ground with this helmet-shaped head remaining.
Huh.
That went well.
Do you guys know anything about this crown here that she was wearing? Because she got stuff going on around her head.
Well, I will investigate that in just a moment. He breathes heavily. takes out a supreme healing potion, pops it, and knocks it back. I am tired. And while I roll some d4s, I'll roll an Arcana check.
Okay, roll
It's
Arcana
only a
check.
16. I was actually just rolling really hot the rest of the session on those Arcana
Ugh.
checks.
That's fine. What as from your Arcana check, you can kind of tell this isn't a crown per se. Well, you can really tell this was her face. This was her head, and the magic of whatever she was attempting to cast here, the Kidozan, the shambling prince she was trying to summon, all of the ziggurat underneath her, where her estate was, the magic she was using to control these kobolds, these crimson kobold shamblers, and the way she was controlling them through a twisted form of arcane magic and druidic magic. She was trying to sustain her life even more, and was using wood and druidic magic to try and sustain her life and increase it, turning her own skin into the wood that you see before you. And the head that's remaining is all that remains of the way she was trying to keep you all alive, trying to keep herself alive so she could perform this ritual.
Verily, every attempt of mortals' insignificance to attempt to scratch at immortality ends in darkness and decay.
But as you're looking at it, it's quite hollow on the inside, and a small child's head could fit inside it, no problem.
Like a kobold.
Like a kobold.
I'll mage hand it up. Preston. Sir Preston Digitation. Would you like to give it a try? I mean, if I'm a...
didn't you?
Well, doesn't mean it's not cool. I mean, we're basically gods, right? What can happen? What can go wrong?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
While he's doing this, I'm going to pop one of my supreme healing potions and just be like, yep, nope, this is a great idea. Just chug it.
As you chug your supreme healing potion, the little damage that you receive it's like a nice, refreshing balm.
Yeah.
And Preston, as the now floating former head flies towards you, and you look inside, you see it is completely empty. From your passive arcane knowledge, you can kind of tell this is not cursed. I'm reinforcing this. It is not cursed.
Okay, so when it kills you, that's exactly what it's supposed to do.
It was designed to murder you.
Yeah.
It is not cursed.
Oh, come on. I just knighted you. What else can go wrong?
We're like practically gods, right, guys?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Nothing
Yeah,
goes
we
wrong
are
for
Katosa,
practically
the
gods.
shambling prince.
Can I put it on?
As the former head of Lady Petunia Gardena rests on top of your head, it's a bit cumbersome. It smells a little bit, not gonna lie. Doesn't normally go with your aesthetic. It's very wooden, very druidy. But you can see out of it. It's got enough space your ears can flick through and your hair comes through as well, so you can still have that on show. It's just a very strange looking souvenir.
This is cool.
Maybe a Constitution saving throw. No, I'm joking.
17.
You instantly drop to 1 hit point. I'm joking.
Yes.
I'm joking. But no, as you look around you, you just see goops of just like piles of goop of what formerly these crimson kobold shamblers were. You see what remains of Lady Petunia Gardena on the ground, or on top of Preston's head. The heart that was on the ground, which Bean had decimated, it's fair to say. Silas, because you're the one who's nearest at the top of the ziggurat right now, you look into it and you see effectively a tiny dragon skull.
I'll
in the
start
center.
start hovering over that direction. Go. So did we win? Are we victorious now? I'm not entirely certain.
Her face smashed open, so I think we won.
Excellent. Oh, gesture up and lift the tiny dragon skull with my telekinetic mage hand.
As you look at the tiny dragon skull, you see it's about the size of a raven skull. So it's very tiny dragon. But intricately carved into it is a variety of runes. Because you don't speak Druidic, you don't know what they are, but they look. But you do have passing knowledge of what the Druidic language looks like and how it is represented.
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
Yeah, and as you're looking at it, it's you can almost like as you bring it closer to your hand, you feel a tiny little heartbeat inside on this skull.
It's alive, it seems.
Do you want to know what that says? I can like understand it,
Of course.
and I'm
No.
okay at comprehend languages.
Zoom it over to him. Yes, a sorcerer like me would never prepare comprehend languages.
Well, I can do it at will.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
excellent.
Even better. As you comprehend languages, you get the feeling this is a mixture of transmutation and conjuration magic. That the heart this was encased in was a conduit to summon Kidozan, the Shambling Prince, and this is actually what the center. It started growing from there, and the more that this ritual would have carried on, and if Lady Gardenia was successful, you would be able to summon Kidozan, the Shambling Prince himself.
So she could basically like use this to like summon Ketchup-Ozen.
But we're already here.
He's already here.
I know. I would try to tell him.
Yeah.
Maybe you should hold on to it since it summons you. We wouldn't want anyone rudely yanking you into another reality.
It's true. If he hands it to me, I take it and I like put it in a little pocket.
You pocket it, and it's nice. It's in your collection of many treasures from your many adventures you've had.
Yeah.
And with that, the feeling that you had, Preston, earlier when you tried to Misty Step, you kind of feel that's disparating a little bit. So you feel what was blocking you is no longer blocking you anymore. In fact, the Silas, the wards that you tried to dispel earlier, you feel that those wards are falling away as well.
Well, I hate to break it to you, friends, but I can no longer teleport us out because I am tired.
Fine, I assume we can walk at this point.
Yes, you can walk it. Preston, from your side of the ziggurat, that you see a passage the passage off the ziggurat itself into what looks like a well dug out mining shaft that you can easily guide your compatriots through, which leads into a very small storm cellar of what remains of the Gardenia estate.
So, is Lady Gardenia, is that a different Lady Gardenia? I think it was the same one.
I mean, it looked like her, but unless we're talking like evil twin situation or something, I don't fully know. You guys get this magic stuff a lot better than I do.
Hey, hold on a second. We'll find out. And I'll point back toward the house and cast message. Lady Gardenia, are you okay?
"5 minutes later, you just hear silence still.
Nope. She was evil.
The number you dialed is not be completed as
Number- The
Dang it.
sorcerer
Is
you
no
have
longer in
dialed
service.
is no longer recognized. Please
Wait,
try
so-
again on a different plane of existence.
Did she bring us here to summon Katosin? Because that's a choice.
I tell you what, Bean, try and make an Arcana check.
Why do you do this to him?
Because it's funnier if I do it. That's a 3.
Okay. Bean, you take 3 points of psychic damage.
That seems
trying-
real unnecessary, but okay.
Trying to work it out. You get the feeling that you know your own capabilities as a warrior and as an adventurer, and you've seen what Preston and Silas can do, and you get the assumption that you would have been worthy sacrifices towards summoning a great and powerful demigod, for you are yourselves gods.
Guys, I connected the dots.
I'm so proud of you.
I figured this out. It's okay. We were supposed to die here. Turns out we don't die places.
How's that?
That we don't die? We don't. I mean, I haven't died before, have you?
A few times,
Oh,
but I always come back.
see? Yeah, we are
We're gone.
not the ones they meant to sacrifice.
Well, does anybody have a way to get us off among the stars again?
Yeah, I think I might have a spell that could like take us somewhere. Let me look.
Oh, I actually have a method if we'd like to go home.
So do I. We can go in the way we came. There's a tunnel we crawled through.
I mean, back to our original planes of residence.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That'd be nice too.
Although this place isn't bad. It's remote.
It's remote. There's this ziggurat here. If there's something inside of it that looks cool.
It is very aesthetic.
It is. It's a choice. Honestly, I like this better than the palatial manor upstairs. Just saying.
Yeah, I kind of want to go home.
Well, then so then. We'll take care of this place ourselves.
Perfect.
As the three of you ascend out of the storm cellar to what remains of the surface level of the manor of the Gardenia estate, you see the sinkhole in the corner where the tower where you were once resting earlier, just a few hours earlier this evening. You see the sinkhole remains. And what remains of this now ruined, and the three of you stand there, dirtied, covered in who knows what. But you sit down and you start a small fire, you settle down for a long rest, and you regale each other with stories of your adventures from your home plains, and taking a short rest or a long rest until you see the dawn break over the horizon, over the trees, and the three of you just take a moment and, through your many years of adventuring, stare into that sunrise and know that you've done something good and it feels good. You pack down your makeshift camp, and then the three of you open portals to your home planes of existence, ready to carry on your stories as adventurers. And that's where we'll end our one shot.
That was awesome.
That was
That was
fun.
fun. That was hilarious. I loved it.
That was super fun.
I hope you DMs got a chance to enjoy being players for once.
I was
Absolutely.
a little. Oh yeah, it was very fun. I'm a little sad I used all my high level spell slots because at the end I really wanted to, before I go into the portal, turn around and just cast Earthquake.
That-
But the reality break was better though. It was
Yeah,
worth it.
Reality break is nice.
so just saying, so yeah, just thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining to this culminating panel of CouchCon. I think according to the Dujum Hick, we've raised $1,400
Whoa.
for Doctors Without Borders, which is an amazing thing to have the weekend. remember the vendor hall is still on, so please go visit that and support those vendors, especially in this trying time. If you can give and you can support, please do that. We know it's a hard time for everyone, and it's been from speaking for myself at least, it's been really encouraging to see all of us humans trying to support each other out during this testing time for everyone. I'd like to thank my players for being able to play here this evening. I'd like to thank the players who couldn't be here this evening but wanted to be here anyway. Thanks Abby, who is our amazing tech specialist here for the channel. And starting with Paul, go around and say where we can find you and what's coming up in the next couple of weeks and what you're doing in your lives and how we can find you.
I'm on Twitter always as Barbarian DM. Other than that, that's really it. I'm gonna go back to crushing my players soon.
Sounds perfect. Jeremy, you go next, please, mate.
I'm Jeremy. You can find me on Twitter at Darthentrary. You can also find me at Rumlow Cosplay on Instagram. Don't really have anything going on, so if anybody has games that they're looking for a player, I would love to play some more. And I'll pass it on over to Nat.
Hello, I'm Nat. You can find me on Twitter for all my D&D TTRPG antics at CrimeNat, KREIM Nat. I do freelance layout design, editing, and game design. Hire me.
Try that, man.
You can catch me on Mondays here in Granite Chimera for Dead Skies by Night at 6:30 Eastern Time, doing time zone conversions in my head right now. Very fun. I play an old Dragonborn who just wants to fight for his friends. As well, you can find me on every other Saturday over on twitch.tv/TechnoSkull for Blades in the Dark, where I play an somehow even spookier Whisper who communes with the Void Sea, named Avmalia, and that's a lot of fun. That's most of what I got going on right now, and I hope you really enjoyed today, and I'd like to shoot it all the way back over to our illustrious Dragon Manager, Tim.
Your illustrious temporary Dragon Manager for the day. Hi everyone, I'm Tim at Animorph on all social interwebs. You can find me on at Animorph on most things, really. I'm not doing much at the moment. I just do weirdly a lot of writing at the moment for D&D content. You can find a lot of my weird and random homebrew in my pinned tweet there. I'm around, say hi. I'm a sociable kind of chap, really. And yeah, just, you know, I'm just around, and I'm really thankful to be a part of CouchCon. Want to take a moment to thank everyone who's actually worked to put CouchCon together, be it behind the scenes doing the technical stuff, moderating all the panels, being a part of all the panels, being part of all the random one-shots being going on. And a big shout out to all the vendors who have and everyone who's been adapting to the situation we've got right now. And we hope this is one way we can support you guys going forward. And thank you to everyone who's watching and has been watching over the entire weekend on the variety of different channels that have been hosting events as part of CouchCon, and for the money that we've raised for Doctors Without Borders. That's been absolutely amazing to see. If there's anything else, I don't think there's anything else, is there? No. All right then. Well, with that, we're going to say goodbye and thank everyone for joining us, and see you whenever.